what's the best advice you can give to people wanting to find the right partners in business?
In business, I was wondering what you're doing. So I think you've got to have agendas that are aligned to start with. You've got to have, you both have got to want the same, you desire the same outcomes, I think most importantly, because if your goals are not the same, you'll never achieve your goals.
Sure.
You'll always have a mismatch. I don't think you need to worry about whether your partner's your best mate or it's going to be your best mate. It's about having those goals aligned, the agendas aligned, whether you both add value to each other. And let's be frank, if we were best mates or we were exactly the same, we wouldn't need the other one, because we would have that base covered already.
Yeah.
So you probably want someone who thinks a little bit differently, who does things differently to you, who at times you're going to argue with and debate things through with, and sometimes it gets heated, but you have the ability to afterwards, still be partners, shake hands and be mates and work it out. But I think it's probably most importantly is to have the same goal, because if you're both working towards the same outcome, you'll cross any other bridge.
Well, finding the right partner is critical. So you have a partner for investment that will be an investor or someone that is in the market, strategic partner and so on, and then you have the partner that is going to be working with you in the startup and putting everything together and spending the late nights and that is crucial. You need to find a person that you gel with, that you can work with, that you have the similar type of energy, that you're able to be 1 + 1 is 3. Someone that you can trust, that you can talk to, that even if you are down, you can share those moments, and then you will help each other to get up there. It's when I was starting, actually, a good friend with experience in entrepreneurship told me, find someone, don't get alone. And actually that was the best advice that I received. If I think about the loneliness and the heart of being an entrepreneur and just no money, it's so finding, I think it's definitely recommended, and make sure that it's the right person, that you enjoy working with, that you are like-minded.
Yeah. And would you recommend having someone with different, I guess it makes sense, having someone with slightly different skills than you to partner with?
Absolutely. I would say different kind of functional skills, but mentally you need to be somehow aligned, and to grow the company, you need that support, you need that understanding.
Initially, I would say if you do need a partner, try and not take a partner. Try and get the resource in. You can pay them for that, and it's cheap. If you do want to take a partner on and you don't know that partner, don't start a company with them. Operate as completely separate companies. Start a joint venture, and if you really know someone and you can trust them with your whole heart, then you can commit to a partnership. I know businesses where old tannies were friends for 60 years. Then they had nothing to do and they started a business, and after 60 years of friendship, it ended after a year. So you can't trust anyone in business. You need to really find the best partners, and I would be very cautious. Try every other avenue before you go there.
Okay.
Yeah, partnerships are a dangerous thing and a beautiful thing, depending how you put them together. So to me, there's a couple of rules around good partnerships. Is number one, without a doubt, you have to have the same values. If you have different values, those partnerships split quite quickly. Number two, you have to have the same work ethic. In other words, you can't have one guy leaving to go and play golf at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the other person staying till 10 o'clock at night. Those relationships, when there's a dissonance between your work ethic, also fray. The third is your financial runway. If one person comes from a wealthy background and it doesn't matter how long we take before we become successful, and the other person lives month to month, hand to mouth, it also is a very, very a recipe for disaster. So either both have to be hand to mouth, or both have to come from with relatively from money. But when there's a difference in the two, it creates a fracture in that relationship, because you don't have the same sense of urgency.
I think very importantly, you have to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. I'm an excellent Kickstarter. I'm an excellent inspirator. I'm an excellent networker. I cannot for the life of me finish anything. I cannot look at a balance sheet or a spreadsheet. I cannot code, and I cannot really hold a consumer's hand or a customer's hand. So I know what I'm good at. I'm good at ideation. I'm good at understanding what sort of business I want to put together. And then I bring people with me that are able to do all the things I can't do. Inspire them to become part of it, and then share the equity in the business together and make it a fair deal, and then bring that business to market. When I'm very comfortable doing what I'm good at, I always want to be there. And if I can make sure all my partners are only doing what they're good at, then they're always good at what they're doing. Is when you ask a partner to do something that he doesn't really or she doesn't really like, and then they don't bring their goods to the party, and then you become frustrated with them, but the question was wrong. And so for me, I've got a chief operations officer, which makes sure that all the contracts are in place and all those sort of things. I have a customer experience officer that makes sure that they hold the hand of the customer through the process. And I have a coder who makes sure that all the things that are being coded and all the things that we're creating are being done as an engineer. I head up the thinking, I put the networks together, I make sure the concept's coming to market. So if I'm really understanding what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, then I start looking for partners that are able to complement me, and I can complement them.